former KLA alumni too. Radio. Get top line.
I don't think that's more than one. I'm just happy to have another week. Like overtime in the new league. Niners overtime. When the Chargers had the field goal, I was like, they're playing for a timeout. I was like, there's no reason to risk it. And then when Vegas came out throwing, I was like, holy crap, they're gonna try to lose. And then I went to the 2-minute warning. I was like, no, they're gonna have to. Well, obviously, yeah, I think
So the media just came on over the years. How's some deal across campus? Thank you. Looking at your time yard.
The way it sounded was like they were gonna run out the clock until Staley called the timeout. He called the timeout.
Yeah, that's good.
Sachi and staff said, all right, we'll run it down, take our timeout, take the field goal, and we're going on, and they're going on. That's probably when somebody said, hey, you know, wait, oh, I know. Oh, I know. But it's like, I think that the timeout made them a little, it was a lot of sweat again. I was. I went into the night games. I had preseason bet on Arizona to win the West, and then I had the Rams were the third part of my preseason parlay. So I was like, I knew there's something going on. And I lost it. Yeah, I was like, this is one of them put there. I went wrong.
Longer travels. Yep.
I have to pick on you now because those ignoring me. Good.
It's hard to see the pieces left. That's true. One of my kids is
earlier in December. No, like for TJ's birthday.
find something broken and just put it back.
And the pool
I'm pretty good. I'm still pretty good. Well, once it's
All right, well, I'd like to welcome everybody here, and thank you for being here for this important announcement. As you don't know, I'm Mike Holmes, the athletic director here. About a month ago, we learned that Mike Magistrelli had intent to resign and just pursue some other things. And of course, from my chair, then that requires a lot of thinking and preparation to make sure that we continue with the very good things that our football program has been doing. We reiterated it when Mike was making this same kind of announcement. Our GPAs across the board in football are tremendous, 3.0 or higher on average for the last 7 years. We were the runner-up in the NAIA and GPA this year. Really, those things don't get a lot of community attention, but that's what this is all about. We also have a great group of football players on this campus, people that represent us with a lot of dignity and character, and that was important to continue. But also, we're competitors. We want to get ourselves back into some prominence in the conference, maybe in the national conversation a little bit more. And so it became important for us to find a leader who we believe that can do that. The process has been pretty arduous and quick. We obviously posted nationally. We got resumes from over 90 candidates. From there, we I brought a committee in that pared that group down to 10. We did an initial WebEx interviews with those 10. We brought 5 finalists to campus last week and had them each spend a day here meeting with a variety of groups, including a diversity team, our advancement group, our coaches, our student athletes. And we had basically, as Vince will tell you, a full day for those folks. And we took scores from each one of those groups, added it to the committee's very extensive interview with these candidates, and it all came out of this. So this was not necessarily my selection, right? It's not like I just picked from the group. It was a part of a process, and our winning candidate essentially had to impress a lot of people on this campus to be named here today. And I will tell you that the competition was incredible. We had some head coaches in the NAIA who were part of our finalist group. We had coordinators at Division I level who were part of our finalist group. So you didn't just walk into this job if you got it, and that's who we're here to announce today. And I want you to understand that he had to really conduct himself with distinction with all of those groups to be named here. Now, in this particular case, I just happen to have a little bit of background knowledge of the individual because I've observed him for the last 3 years on the sideline working with our kids. There is no better person at preparing a game plan, making adjustments, and getting kids bought into the game plan than Vince Fillipp. He flat out knows what he's doing. He's going to have to translate that now into a head coaching role where he's got to think, we've got to score once in a while, and it's not going to be on an interception run back, right? He's going to have to figure out that part as well. But in watching him interact with kids, I'm so very comfortable with this decision and so excited on what he's going to be able to do for this program. I'll let him talk, obviously, a little bit about himself, but as you know, he has a lot of roots at St. Ambrose beyond the coaching, and our committee got it right. This is who should be leading this program. Vince has a lot of respect in the football coaching community. Despite the fact he has not been a head coach or being a coordinator, you do have to handle a lot of the responsibilities that a head coach does. He's just going to find out that there's a lot more to it than what he has done so far in a coordinator position. So after I introduce him, let him make some comments, then we'll take some questions after that if we didn't cover anything. But for right now, it's an extreme pleasure to introduce the next football coach, St. Ambrose University, Vince Fillipp.
Grab my phone here, got a little notes. Thank you, Mike. Obviously, just really proud day for myself, my family. Really, really cool. Like Mike was saying, I have a lot of love and appreciation for St. Ambrose. I was a student here, student athlete, got to go through that process and immediately start my coaching career here. A lot of professional opportunities I've had have been through people that I know and have met from St. Ambrose. So obviously a very, very special place to me. Just a couple of thank yous, and like Mike said, we can take some questions, but I want to thank the hiring committee. I met with a number of different people on campus throughout the day Friday, different groups, different organizations. I learned so much about St. Ambrose in that day that I hadn't yet learned, which is a really, really neat deal, and it just shows how much opportunity there is at a place like this. I want to thank Mike Holmes and President Novak. It is clear that we have tremendous leadership here at St. Ambrose University. I'm excited to be able to work with those people and be able to move forward that way. I want to thank the players. Like Mike was saying, we have a group of unbelievable young men, really, really good kids. They make my job easy to come to work. They do a tremendous job in the classroom, like Mike was saying. Not only those guys, but past players, right? And, teammates that I had, guys that were reaching out. Obviously, my support group, my friends, mentors, people that I kind of leaned on through this entire process and bugged with phone calls and emails and things that way. My family and the support system, that was evident kind of going through this process, just how many people root for me and cheer for me that way. My wife is here today. I got 100 text messages, I think, Thursday before my day of the interview, and that's because she sent out 200 text messages to our family, letting them know about the big day. So I have a tremendous support system in place that way, and I'm really, really excited. Like I said, I can't wait to just get out of the suit and the clothes and be able to go to work and start doing my job here as kind of the new era of St. Ambrose football. So with that said, I'm open for questions and anything you guys may have.
Since you mentioned the new era of St. Ambrose football, what does that look like, especially knowing what it's been here and what's been built here? Is it a huge difference? Is it tweaking things? What does this new era want to look like for you?
Yeah, good question. I keep going back to, there's three really big things that that I look for, and that I want our team to be, and that's one, a smart kid, right? A smart football player, a guy who knows, he knows what we're asking him. He knows he's going to get lined up, execute his assignment. I want a physical football player, okay? I always go back to this quote, Tom Herman, a coach, he talks, you see the team at the end of the season holding the trophy. They never say, hey, we out-finessed them, right? He always talks about physicality and things that way. And then resilient guys, guys who know things are going to go wrong, right? In life, in sport, you can only plan for so much. So guys who are smart, physical, resilient guys, we can do a lot of really good things with guys at this level.
What was this process like for you? Was it nerve-wracking? I remember when Mike sat up here and said he was leaving, I asked, who would he pick or would he have a say? And
Yeah.
Your name got brought up. Obviously, that was the in-house favorite. Was it a nerve-wracking couple months or process for you?
Yeah, sure. There's always part of that. It was stressful. A day, in the real world seemed like a week to me, just because I was so involved, I guess, and around it every single day. So it was good. It was a little bit stressful at times, but like I said, I know we have great leadership here, and they were doing their due diligence to go through the process and things that way. And I was doing everything I needed to in order to get here.
With nearly 100 candidates for this job, you're the last man standing. You got it. What do you think made the difference? And you got to have immense pride and being very proud about this day.
Yeah, I think just being a St. Ambrose guy is what the difference was. I got to meet with a lot of the players, and they were like, Coach, what makes you different from these other guys? And I said, regardless if I get this job or not, next fall I'm going to be checking your guys' score and looking at the box score and things that way. So I just I think that was a huge advantage for me, being able to have the roots here, but again, be involved with other places and things within the football organization already that I think people going through this process came to learn that I was comfortable with and doing that.
You put the pads on here.
Yeah.
When you go back as a freshman and probably walking across the practice field, did you ever see a day like this happening where from putting the pads on here to leading this program?
Yeah, really good question. No, not one bit, I guess. No, I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm more of a what's in front of you right now. What do you gotta answer? What do you gotta do right now? Try not to get into looking into the future that much. So no, very good question. It's truly it is. I feel very, very proud. It's a really, really neat deal. Like I said, I had some of the best times of my life with some of the best people at a place like this. So really, really proud.
What is it about this place that you've been around here so long and it just kind of stuck with you?
The people and the relationships. I think that's easy. Football is football, and there's a lot of great institutions and things like that. Just the amount of support at a place like this, not just only from an athletic standpoint, but from people on campus here. It was a really easy place to come back to back in 2017 when I had that opportunity. It's home. It just feels like home.
Mike talked about winning and competing. This program seems close to having one of those special years or those special runs. Do you see that? And are you excited to build on? Seems to be real close to being back to some really good years.
Yeah, for sure. It just seemed these last handful of years we just struggled putting offense together with defense, together with special teams. And sometimes that is a really, really easy fix. But I'm excited to be able to have a little bit more hand in that and have those decisions. So, I don't think there's a ton of things that we got to drastically change or do and things that way. We're going to take the things that we're good at. We're going to take some things that we see some opportunity, and we're going to be able to be a better football team on the field.
What's going to be your position? Obviously, head coach. Do you remain defensive coordinator? How do you fill in around you with staff?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just met with Mike earlier. Those are kind of all things that are still on the table at this point. Again, I have a lot of really, really good people, in this industry, in this football world that I'm able to contact and bounce ideas off of and things that way. So I think all of that is on the table here at this point still.
You probably know what the defense is going to look like. What do you want your offense or that side of the ball to look like in an ideal world?
Yeah, good question. I think we're going to do our best to make that same transition that our defense had. And it's, this day in football, I think about the best offenses we have to defend. It's ones that they make you defend the width of the field, the length of the field. So, we want to be able to do that, make things difficult to defend. But again, going back to having smart, physical, resilient guys. Schematics they've run the same plays in football for 100 years. So, we got to get doing better things on the same page with one another. And like I said, I know good things can happen.
Did you have the opportunity to recruit, showcasing new facilities like this building, the weight room, the new football facility at the SBAC? Obviously, there's one that is coming with our new tenant. How does that?
Hopefully.
Yeah. How does that make the future?
Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, obviously, you bring a kid onto campus, a 17, 18-year-old kid, and you get to show them the beautiful facilities that we have here, man. It makes the decision a little bit easier, I know, for them as well. So, our guys do a tremendous job. We take pride in those facilities because, just when I was a player here, we didn't have those things. So, being able to, sit in our new football office every single day, we have locker rooms down there. Like you said, a whole new stadium coming. Really, really exciting times. There's no better time to be a part of it than right now. That's for certain.
Coach, you played for Mike, coached with him. What did you learn from him? What did you take from him as you get ready to take this next chapter on yourself?
Yeah, I think Tom asked that before. I can't even all kinds of things. He was just a great. He was a great mentor. Obviously, with him having 4 kids, he was a father figure to a lot of our guys in the program. He was a guy you can always go and talk to and have a conversation, especially for me, and kind of making that transition, as a player to a coach, into a coordinator role. So just a tremendous ally for me, for sure.
Those conversations get to continue a little bit. You know his phone number, I'm
Yeah. I think they'll be a little bit easier on his side of things now too, to be able to have those conversations for sure.
Talk a little bit about the last month plus with in regards to recruiting. What were you able to do? How were you keeping that rolling while there was no technical head coach?
Yeah. We didn't know any better, to be honest. We kind of, coaches knew a little bit more, I guess, of what Coach Magistrelli's plans were. But the message to the players and even the coaches, though, like the train keeps rolling, though, man. So, that whole time where Coach Magistrelli, we were sitting in here and Coach Magistrelli was going through his spiel. We had our entire staff on the road recruiting. We had a number of guys to campus that entire week, so I kind of stayed here with one other graduate assistant. We kind of handled all the on-campus visits. All while for those 2 weeks we had our staff on the road. So business as usual from the recruiting standpoint. And like I said, that was, that's the lifeblood of St. Ambrose is our recruiting and the type of student athletes we get in here. So that doesn't stop for anybody.
With that big turnaround at Kansas Wesleyan from 2-9 to 10-2, what did you see there that worked, and can you use some of those things here with St. Ambrose?
Yeah, for sure. One was we did a tremendous job recruiting. I mean, and that was 90% of it. We had that culture established with the group that we came in with and kind of had through the spring. But from there, it was just recruiting the right type of kids for our institution. They're the ones out there making the plays and doing all that. So when you get good ones, they make you look a lot better. That's for sure.
When you were in flux, did you get some commitments from kids, or were they kind of waiting to see what was going on with the program?
Yeah, no, we've got some commitments. There's a handful of guys that obviously we're kind of uneasy with not having a head coach in place and things like that. I wouldn't say we lost any that through that process, which is a good deal. And again, that's the whole, any college coach you talk to, any good one knows that you got to be able to create relationships when you recruit kids nowadays. So that's a big part of it. So yeah, that part's been really, really good still.
What has the reaction been with current players? And I'm assuming there's plenty of excitement getting a familiar face to head.
Yeah, I think so. I'm excited to talk to those guys, to do that. So, I'm sure a lot of them will find out via this scenario here. But yeah, it's already, they already probably know. But no, I'm excited to get our guys back to. I got a lot of support from the guys here and the dudes in our program. So that means everything. Yeah.
From a continuity standpoint, do you bring guys back from last year's staff? It was obviously a young staff to begin with. Do you bring some of those guys back with you?
Yeah, that would be the hope. I know a lot of our staff, there's obviously, my position now we would be looking to fill. But a lot of the staff is, they're going to be here. They're going to stick around. And like I said, they don't know any better. We're business as usual, man.
Anybody have anything additional for Vince? Well, we thank you for your time and being here, and appreciate it. I'm sure you'll be talking to